Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
I've been working in the space of kind of like civic engagement in technology and how politics and the way that citizens can mobilize with each other to change the things that they care about for about a decade now. And Change.org started about 5 years ago by a guy named Ben Rattray. And for the last 3 years in particular, we've been focused on letting anybody in the world try to change anything that they want using petitions and mobilization. Petitions actually have a really long and rich history. It turns out they're actually one of the they're one of the oldest ways that people have come together to mobilize. So going back to the Dark Ages, and really some of the most famous were around ending slavery in the UK and really all through Europe. People would sign long lists of paper and then they would roll it out in front of the House of Parliament and actually show that these are all the people that care about something. So it's a very simple, effective way to show that a lot of people care about a thing and want it to change. It's almost a cliche to say that the internet has allowed people that wouldn't have power in any other circumstance to have it. So whether that's trying to speak to government at any level or whether it's trying to speak to a company, we are trying to redistribute in some ways where that power can come from. So it's not just the case that somebody makes a decision and you don't have any say in that decision. Now you can say, hey, I want this to change and all of us in this area want this to change, or everyone who cares about this wants this to change. And so that kind of way that the internet allows a big group to kind of democratically come together is what the platform's all about. All that's old is new again, right? I mean, the joke several years ago when Twitter was founded was that hieroglyphics were the first tweets, right? The idea of having a statement and making it very condensed and short wasn't actually new. It was just that Twitter allowed for it at scale and in an amplification that had never been seen before. In many ways, that's what we do for the petition, or for the idea of free speech, is that we give anybody anywhere a chance to basically raise their voice and be joined by others, and to create a real megaphone around that at a scale and distance and speed that has never been achieved before. The first important thing to say is that it is doable to build a social business. You can actually create a viable, profitable company that can do good in the world. And whether it's working with nonprofits, or whether it's for-profits or just individuals who come together, frankly, we don't really care. Nonprofits are great, but we're kind of tax status agnostic, right? It's really not about what tax status you are. It's really about how you come together, what you choose to serve others with. And so nonprofits are a great way to do that, but also just any group coming together to solve a problem is great for that. The nice thing, we can always distance ourselves slightly because we run the platform that allows other people to be a little bit antagonistic sometimes. What we're really shifting to now is that we have a new product called Change.org for decision makers. And the idea of the petition is in some ways that if you mobilize enough people and get loud enough, eventually somebody will listen to you. And it's a little bit like saying, I'm just going to get real loud and work at you. But what we want to find a good solution is to allow decision makers to work with our users. And that's a difference than many organizations or campaigns have done in the past. So it's a gradual transition, not everyone's used to it, but groups like Greenpeace and many others are kind of adopting this new model of saying, hey, look, it's not just about yelling as loud as we can, it's about finding the right solution in conversation with each other. And that's going to be the next step of what we do. It has got to be one of the coolest jobs in technology, that every day there's 1,200 new petitions started on the site, and they encompass everything. There's literally life-saving issues that happen, so people are getting lung transplants, or they're getting health services that they would never otherwise get because of petitions on Change.org, and it's beautiful. We had a guy recently, a soldier from Afghanistan, that petitioned to get his translator, as an Afghani citizen, had been put on a Taliban death list, petitioned the State Department to get him a visa in the United States, and he moved here with his family after that petition won. So it's like literally life and death. And then at the same time, my favorite petition probably ever is 70,000 people signed a petition to the Detroit Lions, the NFL team, asking them not to allow Nickelback to play the halftime show of the Thanksgiving Day game. And it was huge, and people loved it because they really don't like Nickelback, and it was silly. But it's really kind of fun to watch people mobilize that way too.